So students, today we are going to understand something about the animal kingdom. Our lesson is lesson number 1, the animal kingdom. As we all know that animals are of different kinds. Okay, you have seen different kinds of animals, wild animals, water animals, land animals. Okay, so today we are going to understand about that how they are classified. So we are going to understand the classification of animals. So first I am going to talk about mammals. Have you heard the word mammal?
Yes.
Very good. So mammals are those animals that give birth to young ones. Mammals are those animals that give birth to young ones. Can you give me any example?
Cow and buffalo.
Cow, buffalo. You can also say dog, cat, horse, lions, tigers, donkeys, etc. Okay, so now let us understand more about mammals. Mammals have 4 legs. So why do we call them four-footed animals? Because they have
4 legs.
Yes, because they have 4 legs. They also have hair on their bodies and tails. So, moving ahead with this, now man. Man is also a mammal because man also means we human being, we also give birth to young ones. Okay, so the what we can say that man is also a mammal. Okay, and like they use their 4 legs, but we use our 4 limbs, okay, as hands. Now moving ahead to next part, I know that you all know about birds. Have you heard about birds?
Yes.
Can you give me few examples of birds?
Woodpecker and eagle.
Okay, woodpecker, eagle, sparrow, pigeon, parrot, so many birds and beautiful birds are there. So now, so what birds are doing? Birds are flying?
Yes.
Do birds fly? Yes. Birds fly. Birds fly with the help of their wings. Birds fly with the help of their wings. And they have short beak. Okay, their beak can be short and long also depending upon their food habit. Okay, a head, eyes, ears, internal ears. Their ears we can't see. Okay, now apart from this that they also have feathers. They also have feathers. They have kinds of feather. One is soft feather. Next one is body feather. Okay, soft feather means down feather. Okay, then body feather, and last one is flight feather. Okay, so they have 3 kinds of feathers: down feather, body feather and flight feathers. So now moving ahead to another category, we will understand about amphibians and reptiles. Now children, we are going to see understand about reptiles. If I say reptiles are those animals, those who crawl on their bellies. Okay, reptiles crawl on their bellies. For example, lizard, for example, snake. Okay, so these are the examples of reptiles. Now, reptiles have 2 short forelimbs and 2 short hind limbs. Okay, now and apart from this we will also understand that about something about that why they crawl on their bellies. Because they crawl on their bellies because their limbs cannot support their body weight. Their limbs cannot support their body weight, because of which they crawl on their bellies. Next is that scales. They have scales on their bodies. Now what is the function? That why scales are important? Scales are important, and the function of scales or you can say the function of scales is to protect them from enemies, and it also prevent water loss from the bodies. So this was about reptiles. Moving ahead to next, that is amphibians. You all know that amphibians are those animals which can live
both on land and water.
very good. Amphibians are those animals those who can live both on land and water. Can you give me one example for amphibians?
Frog
Okay.
and toad.
Very good. You can say that frog, toad, crocodile, these all etc. are the examples of amphibians. Okay. Now I am going to tell you something about frog and toad. Most of you are confused that what is the difference between a frog and a toad. Let's see that. Now children, the difference between a frog and a toad. Frogs, they have long legs, means their legs are longer than their head body part, and they have long legs so that they can hop, okay. And toad, they have short legs so that they can crawl on the land. Apart from this, frogs have smooth and slimy skin. Their body is smooth and very slimy. And on the other hand, if I talk about toad, so toad has dry and moist skin. And one common thing is that they do not have a tail. Frog and toad, they do not have a tail. Now moving ahead to next part, let us understand something about insects. Okay, can you give me few examples of insects?
Mosquito, housefly.
Very good. So insects, you all know that insects, you have seen many insects. Now let's see that insects are there. Some insects can fly. Okay, so now if I talk about insects, the insects have 6 legs. Insects have 6 legs. Their body is divided into 3 parts. Their body is divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Head, thorax and abdomen. So some insects have wings. Some insects have wings which helps them to fly. For example, mosquitoes and houseflies. They have wings and they can easily fly from one place to another. Okay. So this was about insects, that insects have 6 legs and their body is divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Some insects can fly because they have wings, for example mosquitoes and flies. Moving ahead to a next category, that is pisces. Pisces here includes different varieties of fish. Okay. Now, as we all know that fish always live in the water. Fish always live in the water. Now, here is a question that fish also have scales on their bodies. They also have scales on their bodies. Now, what is the function? What is the function of scales? Now, scales do not allow water to stick on their body. Do not allow water to stick on their body surface. Okay. So apart from this, fish also have gills. Now why gills are important? Gills help them to breathe in water. Gills help them to breathe in water. It helps them to breathe in water. Okay, the main important thing is that breathe in water. Now moving ahead to next part, some fish they have air bladder. They are also known as swim bladder. Now air bladder, or you can say swim bladder, help them to float on the water surface. So children, today we have understood about different kinds of animal, about like mammals, birds, insects, reptiles, amphibians, spices. Okay, and we also understood about special body parts of animals. So I hope you will enjoy this video and as well as you will understand, and then we will continue few things in our class and we will understand more about the animals. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day. Bye bye everyone.